Okay, today is stretch and strength, so a little bit of strength work just to warm up the muscles today. So we're really going to work on strength to warm up, isolate, get to know the muscle groups. And then we're going to do a lot of lengthening, thinking about getting long. A lot of stretchy, slow work, feeling longer. So today we're going to use something slidey. So we use little hand towels because we have wood floor, but if you have a carpet you're working with, then grab like a paper plate or something that will slide on the carpet. And we're also going to use the bands today. If you don't have a band, you're just going to pretend you have the band. So you can work with your own muscle resistance by simply imagining resistance. So simply slowing it down and imagining you're working with a band. You don't 100% need the band. It can just help you get to resisting the muscles a little quicker. If you have your yoga blocks, grab your yoga blocks. And we're going to begin on our backs today. Make sure your feet are nice and close to the end of your mat. You're going to start with your feet down, knees up. So make sure your feet are nice and close, maybe even getting your hips pretty close to the edge of the mat, end of the mat next to your slidey thing. So you can put your feet on the slidey thing when we're ready to start. So start to land on the mat. Start to feel what is present. So we're going to particularly work with the legs today. So maybe really just focusing in, noticing what is going in on the legs. Take some wiggles of the hips. Start to land on the mat. See if you can really get all of the tension out of your body. And give yourself a little promise to try and remain focused and present. Start to think about remaining aware of the body. So the whole point of the physical postures that we do in yoga is to encourage that mind-body connection. So we're not just kind of floating through our lives, physically moving, getting aches and pains, and not being aware of where they might come from, how we might work with them. We're starting to become aware of that mind-body connection, tuning in. I like to say we're listening to our body when it's starting to whisper before it starts screaming at us. So take a real moment to really feel what is present today. What is different today? What are the aches and pains and little ailments? What's there normally? What's there today that's not normal? Really checking in physically. And then start to slow your breath down. We're going to work with our breath with a little mantra, a little intentional, repetitive sentence that we're going to work with just to get ourselves focused on slowing and flowing. If you like, you can bring your hands down to just underneath the rib cage. Feel your hands where your stomach is going to move with your breath. If you feel more tension around the rib cage when you breathe or up on the chest, feel free to move your hands to where you typically feel tension around your breath. And we're going to work with this sentence, I am here now. And you're going to say it to yourself in your head in a nice, slow way. And say it in kind of a sing-songy voice. So taking one full breath, inhaling in and exhaling out the whole sentence. I am here now. Finding your own pattern. Seeing with each breath if you can start to slow your sentence a little more. And then let all thoughts of your breath go and just gently check in again. Perhaps seeing how you feel emotionally. You can even ask yourself the questions, how am I emotionally? How am I mentally? How am I physically? How am I spiritually? And how am I energetically? Listen with patience to the answers without judgment. And then take your feet up to the ceiling, knees can be bent. We're just starting to wake up the legs. So we're gonna look at our feet, spread our toes wide. And start to work with the feet, start to work with the legs. So we're gonna take really slow circles with the feet, starting to feel the muscles of the feet. Trying to work just with the feet, so trying to keep the legs still. And taking slow circles with the feet. Slow, slow, slow. Like you're trying to find every muscle in your foot. And then reverse your circles. And then wherever is comfortable for your low back, we're going to start to pedal out the legs. So pressing from the ball of your foot, your toes can be active or soft. We're going to press one foot away, straighten up the leg, bend the other leg. So pedaling out like you're riding a bicycle. Starting to really feel the back of your legs. Maybe starting to push the heel up and feel the back of the legs. Starting to feel the muscles of the legs. Connecting with what is present. If you're moving a lot in your back, if you feel tension in your back with doing this, make the movement a little smaller. Take the feet kind of halfway between the ceiling and the floor. And fire up the stomach muscles. So push the hips into the ground. Trying to keep that long, slow breath. And if you have trouble focusing on the muscles of the legs and you start to drift off your mat, return to finding your breath. And I am here now. And then place both feet on the ground, knees up, and take a little side shuffle. Make sure there's nothing holding and gripping in your low back and across the hips. We're going to leave the left foot down, knee bent. Take the right foot up, knee bent. So we're going to engage this right leg. We're going to pull the knee up towards the chest and push the heel away. So we want to move only in the leg, hips back, everything else stays steady. Watch for compensation patterns. Watch for yourself trying to pull yourself in a certain direction. And just work with the leg. So starting to really connect with the muscles of the leg. Watch for tension in the face, soften the shoulders. Remember your breath. And then bend the knee and take a big slow circle, thinking about all the ways the leg can move within the hip joint. Nice and slow. And then reverse the circle. Place the right foot down, take a little shuffle with the knees and hips. And then left leg comes up, pull the knee in, push the foot away. So really thinking about these muscles in the legs. Soften the face, find the breath. And then bending the knee, nice slow circle. And then reverse the circles. Slow as you can go, feeling the muscles. Feeling which muscles engage to stabilize the leg as you move it in different angles. And then foot down, take a shuffle. We're going to move our feet onto our slidey thing. So wiggle down. If your hips are not already near the edge of the mat, wiggle down. You're going to place your feet on your slidey thing. You're going to make sure you're nice and grounded in the hips and you're not gripping with the neck or the chest or shoulders. We're going to slide our feet away from us. And then we're going to pull the feet slow as we can towards the glutes. You want to do this as slow as you can, trying to fire up the backs of the legs. And then resist as you slide the feet away. So pull nice and slow. Resist the movement. You want to fire up these glutes and the backs of your legs as much as possible. And then let your feet resist it. Move slow. You may find cramping in the backs of the legs. Breathe. Take breaks. Fire up your legs. See if you can match the movement to the breath. Inhale as you draw the knees, draw the heels slowly to the glutes. Exhale as you gently push the heels away. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Take the legs up and shake them. Shake all the muscles of the legs. Let everything go. Reset. Shake, shake, shake. Bring the knees in, roll on over to a side and come on up to a tabletop position. So we're going to move and breathe in tabletop, inhaling tabletop, exhaling towards a child's pose shape, taking whichever adjustments and movements work for you. And if you're working with your sentence and trying to remain on the mat and out of the thoughts, give your mind something to focus on. I am here now. Bring yourself to a neutral tabletop position. Take the right leg out, even with the hip. Fire up the leg. Things to watch for. Watch for bowing in the back. So fire up the leg. Engage through the chest and shoulders. And we're going to hold the leg here. Push the heel away. Fire up the leg nice and strong. And we're going to draw the heel slowly towards the glute. And then resist as we pull it back. So we want all this movement in the leg. Watch for lots of movement in the back. Try to keep everything else stable. Pull the heel to the glute and pull the heel away. Straighten up the leg, lower the toes, press through the heel, and you can take this static or little pulses. Whatever feels right for you. Rather than thinking about pushing the heel away, think about pulling the calf muscles long. Pull the back of the leg long. Pull from the muscles. And then lower the knee. Take a little shuffle. Set up your base again. So nice and strong in the chest. We're not buckling in the shoulders. We're not buckling in the back. We're pulling out nice and strong. Everything engaged. Left leg out. Hold it out. Fire up the muscles of the leg. Don't forget to breathe. And then nice and slow, draw the heel towards the glute and then pull it away. Engage the whole way. Feel the muscles of the leg. Lengthen the leg, lower the toes, press through the heel. And then we're going to take the band if you have it. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Wrap it around the heels. So just above the ankles. And then we're going to slowly lower all the way down to crocodile. So onto your stomach, one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Shimmy the hips, loosen and soften, find your breath. We're going to wrap the band around the left foot so that we can press the left foot into the ground. So the band in the left foot is into the ground. And we're going to slowly pull right heel towards glute. So slow as you can, holding the band, locking the band, slow as you can. Pull the heel towards the glute and then lower down, slow. Pull towards the glute, lower down. Watch for your compensation patterns. So watch for lots of movements in the hips. Watch for firing of the glutes. We want to take this into the low back. We don't want to be resisting with the glutes. We're pressing the left foot down and pulling the right foot back towards the glute. Nice and slow. And then take a little shimmy of the hips, switch sides. So press, wrap the band so that it's on the top of the right foot. Press the right foot into the ground. Set up and then draw the left heel slowly towards the glute. We're locking the band with that left foot. Press, slowly release, slowly lower. Draw the heel to the glute. Slowly pull the heel away. And if you're not working with the band, you can just imagine you have a band on this leg. You can resist the movement with your own muscles. Watch for lots of swaying in the hips. We don't want to be firing up the glutes and using only the glutes. We want to be really working through the back of the leg. And we don't want to be taking this into the back. So watch for too much moving around. Try to keep the rest of the body still and only move the leg. And then lower the foot, release the band. And we're going to work through the muscles of the back. So beginning small, hands out for balance. Lift the shoulders as you inhale, exhale, lower. Thinking about lifting the shoulders, not the head. Fire up all the muscles at the back. Watch for yanking the skull back and taking too much into your neck. Start to move with your breath. Inhale, lifting, exhale, lower, and start to build upon it as you get stronger and more connected to the muscles of the back. Lifting the hands, lifting the toes. As you lift, think about getting longer from the tailbone to the crown of the head rather than a big arch. Find the muscles of the back. Find a place that you can lift and hover and hold comfortably. Still hold the conversation. You're not straining. If you need your hands down, your feet down, be there. Do not go to the point where you're going too far. We're going to move side to side here. Inhale, center, exhale, take an elbow towards a hip. Inhale, center, exhale, elbow towards a hip. Hands can be down and just moving a shoulder left and right. We want to find the muscles in the side of our back. Find the muscles that help us twist and turn, make them stronger. And then lower back down to crocodile pose. Shimmy the hips. What can you let go of? Find that point where your forehead is touching your hand. See if you can bring all of your awareness to this exact point. And sing a little sentence. I am here now. Make your way back to child's pose. And then return to tabletop. We're going to work through the arms and shoulders just a little. So we're going to take the hands wide as the mat. We're going to bend the elbows and start to pull the elbows down towards the ground, firing up the chest and shoulders. Watch for bowing in the back, so really engage your stomach, engage the chest. Breathe and hold. And then we're going to take little lowers of the elbows down and up, small controlled movement. Trying to use the muscles of the chest, shoulders, arms. And then bring yourself back to tabletop. Bring your hands close together. And then we're going to move in the same way. Lower the elbows to the point where you can feel some strength. You also want to feel like you're really engaged in the hands, as if you're trying to pull the hands apart. That fires up different parts of your shoulders. So pull the hands apart as if you're trying to pull them apart without letting them move. And then lower elbows and lift. Watching for lots of bowing and buckling in the back. Maybe pressing down through the knees, so we're firing up the glutes a little as if you're pressing your knees down into the ground just to keep you a little more stable. And then bring it back to a regular tabletop. Land on the right hand and take a giant circle with the left arm. And then right arm, big circle, nice and slow. Make your way to down dog. Find your down dog and warm it up in whatever way feels right for you. And then find the stillness of down dog. Let all of your thoughts come to the top of your head as if you're letting them drop to the mat. Getting really strong in the arms and shoulders, keeping them super, super still. Little bend in the knees. Slowly lower the right leg. Lift the right leg up without letting anything else move. Hold and hover. Press the heel to the ceiling. Slowly draw right heel to glute and slowly draw right heel away. If this is too much, return to tabletop version. Bend the knee and step through low lunge. You can grab your blocks and move through your legs. So inhaling, bent leg. Exhaling, right leg goes towards straight. Moving with your breath. Inhale forward, exhale back. Both legs engaged. Finding your muscles. Feeling what is present in your own body. Inhale forward, exhale towards straight. Find a low lunge, both legs engaged, fingertips on the blocks just to keep you steady. And we're going to move the weight around on our right foot. So we're going to push more into the ball underneath the big toe and then roll the weight around onto the outer edge and then back. Allowing the knee to move in whichever way the knee moves while focusing on the weight adjusting on the ball of the foot. So you're taking a little U shape back and forward, going through the natural movement of our leg, feeling how our leg moves. And then find a regular low lunge. We're going to hold the blocks a little bit further forward. We're going to engage both legs really strong. Start to lift up from the foot of the right leg. Pull up all the way to the glute, so you're pulling yourself out of the ground. Start to come forward with the torso and bring the left heel towards the glute. Slowly bring it back. Back and forward. Draw the heel to the glute. Slowly pull it away. Nice and slow. And if you're ready for a challenge, you're going to try and pull your fingertips up off the blocks and challenge your balance while you're moving the heel on the left foot. So draw the heel to the glute. Nice big bend in the right leg. You can keep your hands on the blocks. Try to keep that right leg still fired up, still pulling all the way to the glute on the right side. Slowly lower the left foot back down, low lunge, and then all the way up. Breathe in as you come up, inhale. High lunge. Whew, tongue tied today. Find a high lunge. We're going to lower the back foot down, maybe stepping it in a little. We're going to find pyramid pose. So find the comfortable position both legs can be in. Watch for locking of the knees. Get really, really, really long in the torso. And then slowly come forward. We're not looking for head to knee. We're looking for pulling up from that right heel all the way to the glute and finding some length. So we don't want to feel this anywhere in the back or in the sacrum. I'm going to just feel the back leg. And then come on up. Slowly frame out the front foot. Right foot meets left, high plank. Breathe and hold. And then back to down dog. Find a nice strong base. And really pulling yourself up out of the ground as if you're pulling from your hips. Pull your hips up out of the ground, engaged in the arms and shoulders. A little bend in the knees. Slowly, without letting anything else move, pull the left heel to the ceiling. Breathe. Press that left heel up, up, up. Push a little stronger in the leg. And then bend the knee and draw the heel towards the glute and back. Bend the knee, draw towards the chest and step through the lunge. Inhaling forward, exhaling, sending left leg towards straight. Moving through the legs, feeling all the muscles of the legs. Find a low lunge. Bring the weight a little further forward onto the left leg, and we're going to move through, moving that circle of energy. So I'm pushing the weight closer to the ball underneath the big toe, and then all the way around, nice and slow, like you're taking a U of the weight on your left foot, letting your knee and your hip move in whatever way feels natural in your body. So starting to get to know the muscles, the stabilizer muscles. So rather than only working in one plane, knee over ankle, we're going to work all the muscles and keep our legs safe and strong. And then find a steady low lunge. So find a strong, strong, strong low lunge. Pull up from the ground all the way to the left hip. Bring your weight over your left leg and slowly bring right heel towards glutes. Staying engaged in both legs. Trying not to move left and right in the hips. Trying to keep those hips really, really still. Draw the heel to the glute and pull it back. Engaged in both legs. Heel to glute. Pull it back. Imagine you have that band restricting your movement. And if you're ready, start to challenge yourself by bringing your fingertips off the blocks and working and challenging your balance. Slowly lower back to low lunge. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Step the back foot in a little, find pyramid pose. So find a comfortable place for your legs, hips are facing forward. Pull up from the ground so all of your legs are engaged. Imagine you're really pulling the feet towards each other without letting them move. Long in the spine. Slowly bring the torso a little forward. So again, when we fold over and take head to nose, yes, you feel a stretch in the back, but you're also likely pulling into the low back. So we're looking to come forward and find lengthening of the leg while engaged. Breathe. And the front leg rise up and then frame out the front foot. Left foot meets right, high plank. Breathe and hold. Lower the knees and make your way either to crocodile or child's pose, whichever you find more restorative. Reset. Find your breath. Perhaps even singing to yourself, I am here now. Wherever you're at, slowly make your way up to down dog. Find your breath in down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step through low lunge. Keep your blocks handy. We're going to lower the back knee down. So lower the back knee down. Tricks for this. So if you have particularly sensitive knees, place a blanket under the knees. Also watch for coming straight down on the kneecap. Try to come a little ahead of the kneecap. So you're trying to land on the soft skin above the knee. See if you can find that. Watch for what's happening in the right hip. Look for any uncomfortable gripping in the right hip, any pinching, any nerve stuff. We're going to slowly pull that heel, left heel, towards the glute. So we're going to find a position our body can be in. This might mean bringing yourself up nice and strong on your block, nice and tall. using your blocks for support. Slowly draw that heel in towards the glutes. See if you can hold it here. Again, watch for any pinching, any gripping in this right hip. You might need to wiggle your legs more open. You might need to pull back the hips a little. See if you can pull that heel towards the glute and hold. Breathe. Slowly lower the toes back down, and we're going to send the hips back towards left heel. So move your blocks, pull up the toes of the right leg. So back to the same kind of stretch that we get in pyramid pose, lengthening in the back of the right leg, long spine. And if you're not feeling it, pull the heel back towards the hip without letting it move. Engage the leg, move the foot, find where you can feel this. Still not feeling it, you're super open in the back of your leg, bring your foot onto a block. See if you can feel it a little more. And if you're still not feeling it, you can move your block even higher. So keep your body balanced so you're not moving around too much on this back knee. Bring your heel up onto a block. And then really feel like you're pulling from the heel. So you want to open up these muscles, engage them. So pull from the heel to the hip. Obviously not too much because you're going to move the block around. Breathe. Wherever you're at, slowly bring the weight back onto the right leg. We're going to come forward on the right leg and we're going to move through the hips a little. So wiggle forward, push this left hip open. So a little tilt of the pelvis will bring this more into the hip flexor on the left side. A little tilt, pull, exhale, send the hips back. So we're going to start to inhale forward, pull, exhale, find it in the back of the right leg. So moving through, opening up. And if you're super open and you're working towards your half split or your full split, you can start to wiggle in. Start to wiggle the right foot forward. Start to sink the hips down. Moving, lowering. Warm muscles. Move a little more freely, so go slow. See where you're at. Lower the hips. My mat is super sticky, so I don't move very far. Breathe, move. Wherever you're at, slowly bring the right knee back. Tabletop, down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step through. Low lunge, lower the back knee. Set up. Take your time to make sure the back knee is comfortable. The left hip is comfortable. Find your block so you can get nice and tall. Not taking this into the back anywhere. Slowly draw the left heel towards the glutes. So you want to be super engaged. You can take this static or you can take little pulses. Lower the right toes. Send the hips back to the right heel. Opening up back of left leg. So where can you feel it? You feel it here. Note that you may need to try different things on both sides because we are not even. So see where you're at. Play with where you're at on both sides. Maybe even bringing it all the way up to the high block. Making sure you're stable when you do this. And when you move into the slow, stretchy spots and your mind starts to wander off the mat, return to I am here now. Wherever you're at, slowly come forward. We're going to move through, drawing this heel towards the glute, slowly lowering and sending the hips back, opening up left leg. Come forward, draw heel to glute, slowly back. And then we're going to press this right hip flexor forward, send the hips back. Press hip flexor forward. You may even pop up this back knee and pull back. Working with your own muscles, finding your own restrictions, particularly paying attention. So we work through muscles complaining, muscles aching. If we find pinchy, nerve tingling sensations, we stop immediately. Those are not things we work through. Any crunching of bones, nerves do not need to be ignored. Nerves are our body telling us that we've moved into a position that's not quite right for our anatomy. Everyone has a little bit different bone shape. You need to get to know which angles you can move in your own body safely. Slowly bring left knee back toward right. And we're going to move into tabletop. We're going to take some slow hip circles. Go back the other way, reverse your circles. And come on up to a seat. I forgot to mention as we were moving and breathing on the left side to move into your splits if you're working on it. So I'm going to give you a second to move into that in case you didn't take that as a given. If you have already done that, start to find your seat. So comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. If you're not comfortable in an easy seat, place something underneath the hips. Find a space that you can be comfortable seated in. And start to notice what is present. Start to notice how you feel, maybe moving through the neck, moving through the shoulders, seeing what is present. Find your breath. And then bring thumb and forefinger to touch on both hands, palms up. Find a place that you can place your hands that your shoulders are 100% comfortable, and if you're not sure, pick up your hands and let them drop. Don't place your hands where you believe they should be, but where your body is comfortable. Repeat, I am here now. Feeling the connection of thumb and forefinger. I am here now. Notice what is present. Notice which muscles are talking to you. What feels different? We're going to take our feet out wide, not as wide as we go. We're not working inner thighs, we're just working feet open. So adjust in a position that you can work in. And if your hips are such that you sit this way, find your blocks and just press into your blocks. So you have a little, press your hands into your blocks so you can lift up the chest a little and take some of that tension out of the low back sacrum area. Press the heels into the ground, pull the knees up a little, and then press through the feet and then pull the feet back. So working through the legs, just noticing what is present. And then take your hands, palms of your hands, heels of your hands, and make some circles on your legs all the way around. So feel your calf muscles, little circles around the thighs. And then switch legs, little circles. And then make your way onto your back. So as you come down to your back, grab your strap, keep it handy. If you don't have a strap, again, we're just going to imagine we have it. Long, lengthening, stretchy time. So land on your back, take your time to get here. Watch for over flattening of your curves of your back. So watch for tilting your pelvis and pressing your lower back into the ground. Watch for pressing the back of your neck in the ground. So start to feel the natural curves of your back. Start to be comfortable with your back landing in its natural curves without forcing a straightness in the back. Leaving the right foot on the ground, bring the left foot up, wrap the band if you have it, and find the back of the leg. So now just slow, stretchy time. So wrapping the band. So watch for competing with yourself. That need to know split desire can often pull this hip up. We're pulling a hip around, we're moving through the joint more than the back of the leg. We're pushing strain into other parts of the body without being aware. So notice what is going on. Find the back of your leg. And try to think about pressing the left hip back down into the ground. So if you're pressing it down, you're going to find more of a lengthening, more of an active stretch. Find where your body is at. And you can keep this static, or you can take little movements nice and slow, being present with the muscles. Slow your breath. You can take the right foot and lengthen the leg, lower the heel to the ground, watching the hips and watching any twists in the spine. Breathe. Watch for tension in the shoulders, soften the face. You lower the right leg, bring the knee back up, heel on the ground. Slowly cross the left knee over the right. So release the bend, cross the left knee over. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Feet, pull them with your leg muscles towards opposite shoulders and press your sits bones away from you. So imagine you're pushing your sits bones away from you through the glutes. So you're looking to feel piriformis glute space on the left side. Breathe into this space as if you're sending all of your fresh breath right to this space. Soften the face, soften the breath. Slowly unravel. Place the left foot on the ground, knee up. And we're going to wrap this strap around the right foot. Find the back of the right leg. So, if you're just holding your leg, hold your leg. You're just looking to find nice, slow, and stretchy on the back of the left. Press the right hip down. So a good way to find out if your hips are twisted and if you're pulling this in a weird way is to bring both hips even. Feel them with your hand. Make sure your hip bones are even on the ground. Make sure there's no tension in the low back. And then draw the heel towards the face. So rather than thinking about the goal of getting the knee to the nose, which is a common like Instagram picture, think about opening up the back leg, feeling the back leg, remaining present, keeping that hip grounded, finding the back of the leg. Breathe. And lower the left leg down, keeping the hips grounded. You can move your leg around, or you can keep it static, just feeling the opening in the back of the leg. Notice if left and right sides are different. Breathe. Slowly bring the left heel back to the ground, knee up, unravel, let go of the band, bring the right knee over the left, bring the knees in towards the chest, and pull feet towards opposite shoulders. Not with your hands, so applying force with your hands can bring this all into the knee joint. So start by pulling the heels towards the shoulders with your muscles of your legs first, and then you can place your hands on your shins and rest into the pose. So rather than yanking heels and bringing everything into the joints, be mindful. Find your leg muscles. I am here now. Soften the face. Soften the breath. Slowly unravel and take the feet long, little bend in the knees. So legs are almost straight, little bend in the knees. Let the shoulders and arms land on the ground, and then take some flicks of the feet and see if you can get some somatic shakes happening in the body. So we work the legs a lot. See if you can start to wiggle and loosen. Really let the muscles wiggle and jiggle and reset. And if you're not feeling a lot of wiggle and jiggle in the back of the leg, and this is feeling just more like wiggling and jiggling of the whole body, and you really want to focus on the legs, bring your feet down to the ground, knees up, and shake the legs either left to right or up and down. So pressing the weight differently. So pressing, shaking, pressing, no muscular gripping. We're looking to shake the muscles, so we're just as if we're doing the twist, maybe really shaking the muscles loosely, trying to really loosen and soften and let go of any gripping in the muscles. And then take a deep breath in, and with the exhale, let everything soften wherever it softens. Notice where it lands. So notice if one hip, one knee, one leg, one foot is different. Notice if one is out and one is in. Checking in, getting to know your body's holding patterns. Feel what is present. And then make your way to what you would like to be in for your final resting pose, making decisions for your body and how you feel most comfortable, most likely to release tension. This is not the stretchy pose. This is the pose you earn by working all the muscles and landing and softening and letting go. So as you start to soften in, today's card I pulled, I thought was pretty awesome. It's of course a well-known saying, be the change you wish to be. This one is written in curse words, so I'm not going to repeat it. But it's a little interesting take on being the change you wish to be. Hey you, yeah you, the one who sees what's wrong in the world and knows the difference between being an activist and being a whiny complainer is action. You want the world to be more kind, then kind the I have to replace the curse words. Kind the heck out of the people in your life. Hate litter bugs? Pick up some trash. Can't stand judgmental people? Quit judging them for being so judgmental. It really is that simple. So that quit judging them for being so judgmental is a huge one that resonates with me. So as we do the work and as we start to make changes in our life that leads us more in line with our own moral compass and our own spiritual guide, we can forget that we are all on our own journeys and in different places of learning and different places of that journey. And as we get to know things that work for us, two things can happen. We can start to sing and preach from the rooftops that we have found the magic potion and that is going to work for everyone. And we want everyone to come try it because it's going to work. It worked so well for us. And we forget that everyone is different. So we start preaching and no one's listening because they might not be ready for that message yet. They may not even resonate with that pattern. There are many paths, many paths. They may not even resonate with your particular potion. And the other thing that we can start to do is we can start to feel so good about our changes that our ego takes over. And our ego wants this little 15 minutes of fame, and it wants to know that these changes were for the right reasons. They were for making us better. And if we're making ourselves better, then obviously we're better than everyone else. And that happens so often. We sit there on our news feed. We sit there listening to other moms, parents, dads, other siblings, and we start to say, oh, well, I don't do that anymore. So, and it happens so quickly. The ego pops up so quickly that we hardly ever notice it. So when we start to feel ourselves looking through and judging people, and particularly like, oh, that person trashes the trash comment, the people trashing the ocean. You know what is that doing for you to judge other people for throwing your trash? What is that doing for you? How is that improving your life? How is that making you feel? Is it making you feel better? Not really. It gives you the initial adrenaline shot of your ego getting its little voice, but it doesn't actually make an effective change in your life. So how do we make these effective changes in our life? We pick up the trash. Because that will make us feel better. We don't judge people for throwing the trash, but we can just pick it up so that we don't see it anymore, and we've done something that's in line with what we want in our lives. We've picked up the trash, we've thrown it away, and we've not judged anyone for it. And that's hard. That's hard. It takes lots of practice. It's really hard to let go of that judging. But the more that you let go of that judging of other people, the less you'll start judging yourself. So really starting to think about being your own change. So being your own change without judgment. I'm going to leave you with that for your resting pose. So anyone that works with me, you know the drill. Settle into your resting pose. Start to scan the body. Do that check-in that we did at the start of practice. Notice any tension in the body. And if you can't feel your toes and become only your toes, it's a practice. Like we go through this world, and many people can go their entire lives without knowing what is present in their physical body until it's in pain. We know what's going on when it's in pain because our body tells us it's in pain. So practice. Can I feel tension in my feet? Can I feel tension in my legs? Particularly because we worked our legs a lot today. Can I feel tension in my torso? Can I feel tension around my breath? Can I feel tension in my face? And then how am I feeling? Can I ask myself these questions and listen to the answers without judging the answers? And then practicing sinking into the mat and letting go as much as possible. And today, as we practice that sentence, I'm repeating it over and over and over again. So every time the ego, the mind, the environment pulls you off the mat, just practice bringing yourself back by repeating I am here now. Losing the shoulds and should nots. Losing the worry of getting it perfect and just practicing returning to the mat. Noticing that you can notice your thoughts. Noticing perhaps some moments where you are completely far away from the thoughts and somewhere else closer to your spiritual self. And if you have the time to take, please take as much time as you need in your resting pose. Take the time to really practice, sink in, give yourself the time and listen to your body. Listen to your whole body, not your physical body, but your whole self telling you how long you should be on your mat. So there's lots of rules and recommendations about how long you should spend in Shavasana. But just start by listening to your own body and giving yourself some time. We try to fill up these 60-minute classes almost to the end. So please allow yourself up to 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever your body needs afterwards in the resting pose. You can turn us off. You can set a timer. And if you need to be finished up at 60 minutes, that's where we're at. So we begin to return to a fetal position, curling up in a little ball. Taking a moment, another moment, just to say, I am here now. Being nowhere else, just on your mat in this moment in time. And then bring yourself to a seated position, hands of prayer. And we try to move and breathe and change things up. But we try to also incorporate rituals and familiar patterns, because creating familiar patterns in our brain is good for us. It can help reinforce feelings of well-being. So continually coming to this particular position and connecting with the fact that we're bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our heart. We are accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. We are honoring our own inner wisdom, the wisdom of our body, our spiritual guide, the wisdom of our own moral compass that guides our own words, deeds, and actions, and lets us know when we're on the right path. And then sending you all out a little less judgment. May you spend your day free of judgment, judgment of others, and judgment of yourself. And we all treat each other with a lot of kindness. Thank you for joining me.